Hi everyone, and welcome to this SwiftFox Masterclass. In this session, you'll get a clear understanding of the recent enhancements we've made to case management in SwiftFox. Case management is one of those areas where small improvements can have a big impact on day-to-day work, because cases sit at the center of how teams track, triage, and report on the things that matter the most. You may remember that last year we introduced the ability to create custom fields on cases. That gave you the flexibility to capture information that's specific to your organization, not just the standard fields we provide. Since then, we've built on that foundation, and there are a few new pieces worth understanding properly. This session isn't about walking through every screen or option. Instead, you'll see what these enhancements are really for, and how they fit together, and how to design your case management setup so it genuinely supports the way your team works. Before we get into the new enhancements, it's worth taking a moment to revisit what case custom fields are, and why they matter. Custom fields on cases let you go beyond the default information SwiftFox captures and tailor each case to the kind of work your team actually does. You can configure case custom fields in settings, and you can create fields of various types, such as dates, file uploads, numbers, select fields, and more. Once a custom field is configured, it becomes available whenever you create or edit a case. This is what lets you track the things that are unique to your operation. For example, you might capture subcategories, sources, sensitivities, drop-off dates, or any other information that helps you understand and act on a case. The point isn't to capture everything you possibly could. It's to capture the details that support a decision or an action down the line. With that foundation in mind, let's look at what's new. The first enhancement is a new type of custom field called the auto increment field. At its core, an auto increment field gives each new case a unique sequential number automatically. The most common use for this is a case ID, a clean, reliable reference you can use to identify and trace a case across conversations, reports, and exports. The important thing here is that the number is generated by SwiftFox, not entered by a user. Every time a new case is created, the auto increment field produces the next number in the sequence. That means no duplicates, no missed entries, and no inconsistency in how cases are referenced. To enable it, you add an auto increment field in your case custom field settings. Once it's configured, every new case receives its number by default, with no extra action required from the person creating the case. This is particularly useful when you're moving from a manual system or your team relies on a shared identifier to talk about cases across different tools or teams. The next enhancement brings cases properly into the Action Center builder. If you've used Action Centers before, you'll know it is how you create live, focused, operational views in SwiftFox, including cases. The important change here is in the column section of the builder. When you create a cases Action Center, you can choose exactly which columns to display, including all of the custom fields you've configured. That means your date fields, your number fields, your select fields, and your auto increment field can sit alongside the standard case information in a single purpose-built view. From there, you can apply filters to focus the Action Center on a specific section of your cases. For example, if some of your custom fields only apply to a particular tag or category of case, you can filter the Action Center to show just those cases, then choose only the columns that are relevant. This is what lets you move away from one large generic table towards a set of focused views, each designed to support a specific kind of work. A good rule of thumb here is the same one that applies to Action Centers. If a column doesn't support a decision or an action, it probably doesn't need to be visible. Custom fields give you a lot of flexibility, but the value comes from being deliberate about what each view is for. Once your Action Center is set up, you can export the cases it contains along with all of the custom field information using the export button at the top of the table. That makes it straightforward to take the same focused view into a report or share it with people outside SwiftFox. The last enhancement is a new cases dashboard, which gives you a higher level view of how cases are tracking across your organization. Where Action Centers are about working through cases day to day, the dashboard is about stepping back and seeing the shape of your workload. It brings together a few key widgets in one place. You'll see a total cases widget that gives you the headline number, alongside breakdowns for any cases by tag, cases by status, and cases by assigned user. These views are designed to answer the questions teams ask most often. How many cases are open right now? Where are they sitting in the workflow? Who's carrying the load? What categories are driving volume? Underneath those widgets is a recent cases table. This shows the latest cases coming through, along with the relevant custom fields. So you can see not just that cases exist, but the detail behind them. As with action centers, you can export from this table when you need to share or analyze the information elsewhere. The dashboard also supports filtering. You can narrow down by status, by custom field, or by other attributes to focus the view on a particular subset of cases. This is especially useful when you're reporting to different audiences who care about different slices of the same data. If you don't see the cases dashboard, reach out to your account manager to have this enabled. Before we wrap up, it's worth saying a quick word on how these pieces fit together. Custom fields are the foundation. They're where you decide what information your cases need to carry. The order increment field is a specific kind of custom field that gives you a reliable, unique identifier without any manual effort. Action centers are how your team works with cases day to day, and new cases support in the builder lets you shape those views around the custom fields that you've set up. The dashboard then sits above all of that, giving you the reporting and oversight layer. The most effective setups tend to start narrow. Pick one workflow, decide what information you genuinely need to capture, build an action center around it, and let the dashboard surface the patterns over time. From there, you can add more custom fields, more action centers, and more focused views as your needs grow. So to wrap things up, these enhancements are about making casework easy to manage day to day and easier to report on over time. If you're just getting started, pick one workflow, set up the fields you actually need, and build one focused action center to match. Thanks for joining this SwiftFox Masterclass, and we'll see you in the next one.